Hey Hyle, we're going to run through your skid, the soft wash system and the pressure washer, show you how everything works, and if you have any questions, let us know. We're going to start at the soft wash system right here. We're going to leave everything on water. So right here, this is water or rinse after you're all done washing. And then if you were doing a roof or doing some soft washing, you would have that up pointed towards chemical. But for testing purposes, and because we don't have any bleach in the tank there, we can't ship it with bleach. We're gonna leave this on water. This right here, this stays all the way on. And then this right here is all the way on as well. Now, when I say all the way on, we're gonna run it all the way on. If you're doing like a house or something like that, then you could bump it down into different percentages. There's also a little guide in here that'll show you some percentages. But we'll jump back over to here. Another thing too, when you're soft washing, we usually just put this on halfway between the off and the one. I'm gonna leave it off for testing because there's no soap in the tank, otherwise we would be pulling air. But go around to the back side here. Here's your on and off switch. Notice that off is up. There's a sticker here that shows you. We're gonna go ahead and turn this on. This has a pressure switch. So as it builds pressure, it's gonna turn off automatically. And then when you pull the trigger, it's gonna call for more solution, and then your pump will turn on. So go ahead and turn this on here. You see how it, as we squeeze the trigger, it calls for more fluid. This is the 0 degree. Pump is working great. We got great distance. If you ever get air in the line, or you don't have soap or bleach and you're pulling air, it won't run like that. So make sure everything is set properly. But that's your 0 degree. There's a bunch of different nozzles here where you can get different spray patterns.
There's a 15.
That's a 15 degree. 25 degree. And the last one there will be a 40. And then a little tip for you, literally, you have to use these 40 orifice tips. If you try to use anything else that's not rated with this system that we built, you will blow fuses. So that's all working great. We'll go through the turn off process. Speaking of fuses, we'll go back in here. If your pump stops working automatically or just out of the blue, there's a fuse there. Pull it out, check it. A lot of times if you're on and off the gun real quick or your hose gets kinked, you'll blow out a fuse. We use 40 amp fuses. 30 or 40s will work. We usually use the 40s. So we're gonna pretend like you were doing a roof and you were on chemical. You would turn it off, or not turn it off, but turn it towards water. And then you would run your pump for about 3 or 4 minutes. You wanna make sure everything gets rinsed out. You got a good rinse on everything. That's gonna help prolong the pump, make it last a little bit longer. So after you've rinsed everything out, again, as you're rinsing things out, you want this turned off. Otherwise you're gonna be pulling soap into your system as you're rinsing. We'll come over here. We're gonna turn this off. So then after I turn that off, we're gonna hit the trigger on the gun and we're gonna let the pressure off. It'll be a lot easier to reel when you let the pressure off. So that'll go down there. Another tip, don't pull this across the ground as you're rolling things up. Otherwise you're gonna break this. These are polypropylene. If you drop it off a roof or whatever, it can break too as well. So we usually just bring this over by the hose reel and then reel it up. I'll set it right down there. Soft wash system's working great. Everything's shooting really nice. You got great distance. We're gonna move over to the pressure washer and test that and run that and show you how that works. All right, we're gonna move on over to the pressure washer. Just a couple tips on how this works. This has a choke and it has a throttle here. So when we start this, we start it with the throttle in the halfway position, and then we pull the choke. Once it's running fine and it gets up to where it needs to be, we'll push that in and then slowly raise this. Another super important factor to think about is when you're starting this, you don't want any extra back pressure on the pump. You want it to flow freely. So this ball valve, put it somewhere safe where it's not gonna blow out somebody's bushes or bark, but leave that on. And we're gonna go through this and we're gonna turn this on. Throttle's in the in the middle. Same thing for when you turn this off. Pull the throttle back down to the center and then turn it off. So we're gonna go ahead and choke it. And this engine's not cold. We've already been doing some testing, but I'm gonna run you through the process anyways. We're gonna turn this on. Slowly walk it up. All right, last thing to run through on here is the downstream injector bypass assembly. So right here, when you turn this, what it does is it blocks it here and it forces the pressure to come up through here, pull from the injector, and then come all the way out through the front here. So show you how this works. Right now you have the whip line connected to the hose reel. So we can take that out and then connect it into the back of the bypass. Everything is on quick connects. We'll leave it plugged in there for you for shipping. That's probably mainly where you'll use it. So it comes in through the back, and then, like I said, when that is closed, it forces the water, the pressure up through. And as long as you have a low pressure nozzle, like an M5 twist, it'll pull chemical through the suction, through this hose, and then you'll have bleach coming in through your downstream injector and then coming out here, as long as you have the right nozzle. And then when you turn this back to there, water is going to find the path of least resistance and it's going to flow straight through here, and you won't be pulling any soap. Now we're going to put it on chemical like we were downstreaming, and I'm going to show you the rinse out valve here. So in the middle here is off. So this is the position that you would normally be in when you're pulling chemical. Now, before you shut that off and turn it off for the day, make sure, or after the job, make sure you turn this down to water. You want to pull water through that downstream injector. So your soap will be on, but instead of pulling chemical or bleach through it, you want to pull water through. Those things can gum up pretty quick. It is on quick connects. So if you have to pull that out of there and blow through it with your mouth, that's pretty common. It's about a $20 piece. If you can get 2 or 3 months out of them, that's great. If you get longer, it's fantastic. But these do gum up because they are brass. Blow through it. There's a spring and ball right there where the hose goes. You can unscrew that, and sometimes that'll gum up. Just some maintenance tips there to keep that thing running. Like I said, bring fresh water through there. That'll help it last a little bit longer. And then when you're all done, just so nothing back feeds, put that in the middle. You're good to go. Just make sure when you go to downstream again, you turn that to chemical. Excited to get this thing to you. I'll give you an overview here in just a few once we get everything wrapped up, and the truck's supposed to show up, so should be receiving this here soon. Hi all, here is an overview of your skid. Again, I appreciate your business. I appreciate the opportunity to build this out for you. Super excited. You're going to be the first one in Ohio that has one of these from us. We've sent a few just south of you, I believe, down in Kentucky. But yeah, this thing turned out super nice. Everything tested well. Everything is working properly. Excited to get this out to you today.